Egypt was beautiful. When she'd walk in a room, everybody noticed her.
And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up.
This YouTube video shows Egypt Covington doing what she loved the most.
And I do it 1,000 times again for you.
The 27-year-old, a beloved performer in the greater Detroit, Michigan region, seeming to have a promising career ahead until the unthinkable happened in June of 2017.
911.
I just showed up at my girlfriend's house, and I walked inside. She's there, tied up. She's dead.
And what's her name?
Egypt Covington. Jacqueline Egypt Covington.
Covington was shot to death in her home in Van Buren Township. A bullet wound in her head, just behind her ear, and her wrists bound with Christmas lights. Her dog, Ruby, was alive and unharmed, but visibly upset. Covington's family was devastated by the shocking news.
There is a murderer in our community walking amongst us.
Covington's family creating a Facebook page to enlist the public's help in finding their loved one's killer.
With all of the community's help, Tina was able to hire a private investigator. Without his help, there's no way we could have gotten as deep as we are now.
According to the family, a strand of hair was found in between Covington's fingers, something they believe may be a key piece of evidence.
Was this person or these persons so smart that they could kind of outmaneuver or outwit the authorities for this long?
Fast forward to November of 2020. Police arrest 34-year-old Timothy Moore in Ohio, charging him with homicide for Covington's death. Moore was arraigned in Toledo and denied bond.
We don't want it to happen again.
When something that violent happens, it's like, why?
But I promise you we'll bring the world to its feet and move mountains.
All right, let's bring in Court TV anchor Julie Grant, who's been covering this for us. Julie, you know, I'm looking at this, and it's such a shame. Such a beautiful voice, such a talent, such a bright light. And to, you know, the image of being wrapped with, of all things, Christmas lights and then shot in the head is so disturbing. Today, my understanding was it was supposed to be the probable cause hearing. What happened?
So the hearing that was set for today, Vinny, didn't happen because of COVID-19 restrictions. What occurred was all of the parties appeared before the district judge via Zoom, and that was also streamed on YouTube on a live stream as well, by the way. And because of the restrictions, the case was continued. So here's a little bit of a look at what happened at this very brief appearance before Her Honor this morning.
Why don't we talk about what the status of discovery is?
Your Honor, discovery's been continuing. I've been uploading regularly onto evidence.com and forwarding links to defense counsel.
And that's correct, Judge. We have been receiving discovery and are still in the process of receiving discovery. And as you work through this, we discussed having a live exam in February, on February the 22nd and the 23rd. Is that agreed upon by the prosecution and the defense?
By the people, yes, Your Honor.
And yes, Judge, that would be agreeable to the defense so long as we have all of the discovery provided to us well in advance, which we anticipate we will.
And Your Honor, I presume, and I don't know if we can just make clear for the record that the defendant would be waiving the right to have the preliminary exam within any sort of statutory guidelines, given the extent of the discovery on this case.
Given COVID, it doesn't matter anyway. Also, I mean, unfortunately, we're not doing anything live right now. And in fact, this is the only thing that I've set. We're not even giving dates. So I'm giving you dates and I haven't given anybody else dates. But Ms. Joseph, you understand that
We understand that it sounds like the court has found good cause, but just for the record, we're not consenting to waiving the 14 or 21 days. But we understand it sounds the court's found good cause.
It's good cause. I mean, we're not doing anything live. We're not bringing any defendants into the building from the jail or anywhere else. And like I said, we're not even setting anything until after January. So good cause is shown.
So all of those burning questions everyone following this case still has are still left unanswered tonight, as that hearing was set then for February 22nd. They're allowing 2 days for this, so that may give us an indication of just how much testimony may be presented at what they call in Michigan either a preliminary examination or a probable cause hearing. Other places you hear the term preliminary hearing, and it's all the same situation where prosecutors at that first court appearance have to prove that a crime was committed, and it's more likely than not it was the defendant who committed it. So very low burden. And as you saw in that clip, in Michigan, a defendant accused of a felony has the right to have that preliminary examination occur within 14 days of the time of his arrest. And you saw Timothy Moore shaking his head when the prosecutor was saying we want the defense position to be very clear here, that defense is waiving that right to have that hearing in that amount of time. And he was shaking his head back and forth as if to indicate no. But you heard Her Honor saying COVID-19 really leaves everyone with no choice. And today seemed like more of a status conference date, Vinny, really more of a day just to say, hey, where are we? Is all this discovery being turned over? And when will we set that live date for the preliminary exam?
You know, that shaking of the head tells me a lot of things. That he's not a defendant who's sometimes defendants are kind of oblivious and they don't understand what's going on. Well, he understands. And it almost tells me that he is saying, listen, I'm not guilty. I want my day in court. I think this is going to be a contested case. I don't think we're going to have any plea in this one from this defendant. I think this one is going to go to trial. But where we are right now with COVID-19, with all these restrictions, I mean, there are a lot of challenges right now.
There really are. And you heard Her Honor talking about how they're not scheduling anything, even though all the parties appeared. She was the only one in that courtroom. All of the other parties, you saw the two prosecutors, they were in their respective homes. Timothy Moore was in jail appearing there, and they're just not even scheduling anything. So this case, I believe because of the severity and the magnitude of it, Vinny, I believe that is why this judge is paying such close attention to this one. And she said, you all are the only ones who really have a date on the calendar at this point. And I want to point something else out that jumped out at me as being kind of interesting, and I really have to hand it to all of the judges, court administrators, attorneys who've been battling, handling their caseloads through COVID-19. And we've talked on the program before, Vinny, about how all these different adjustments have to be made. And today, during that Zoom hearing, at one point, Her Honor said to defense counsel, do you want a moment to speak privately with your client? And I thought, how's this going to work? And she said, yes, Your Honor, I would like that. And she said, okay, no problem. I'll establish your own breakout chat session. And so somehow she was able to shift them off into their own Zoom meeting, just the two of them. They dropped off the call. So all of us watching the live stream could see was just Her Honor and then the prosecutor and the stenographer. So it was kind of neat. Then they were ready. Then they joined back in. So it's good to see courts adapting and making good use of technology.
Let me tell you, I'm impressed by the judge knowing how to do that. I'd like to do that on our Zoom meetings, you know, a little right? Meeting within the meeting. We'll go in our little secret meeting and then, wow. Yep. All right,
Let's
so
do it.
two big questions in this case, and we haven't gotten the answer yet, which is, you know, why was she murdered? Why do prosecutors think she was murdered? Why is she wrapped in Christmas lights? Why is she bound? The details of this case, hard to come by.
They really are, Vinny. And, you know, Christmas lights in June, too, to make that point. This murder happened in June, and that was one of the sick facts that we learned about this case. And we've been trying to get a hold of that criminal complaint and affidavit. And usually it's very, very easy when you're in the media to get a hold of such a report. But we found out today that all of the records in Timothy Moore's case are under seal. So we're filing what's called a Freedom of Information Act request, and we're hoping to get that criminal complaint and the affidavit. And I don't know about you, Vinny, but it kind of makes me wonder if there are more arrests that are going to be forthcoming, because I wonder if he's in custody, why is this still under seal? What don't investigators want to be public at this juncture. We know one other person was arrested initially, questioned, and then released. So to me, I'm kind of just trying to read the tea leaves, so to speak, and I wonder if maybe there are more arrests that may happen in this case. But as soon as we get that complaint, we'll have all the details right here.
Yeah, very, very possible. Very possible. Julie Grant, Court TV anchor. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.